would shift if you stopped asking, what should I do next? And started asking yourself, what am I building towards? That's what vision gives you. And once you have it, the strategy stops feeling heavy and starts feeling supportive.
Welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up.
Hey friends, welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, and today we are going to talk about vision and the necessary strategy that has to go with it. But first, I want to just take a moment and talk about why planning feels so freaking heavy for so many women who are genuinely doing their best. I mean, I want to start here because I think that this is where a lot of unnecessary self-judgment and guilt can sneak in, right? I hear women all the time say things like, Lachelle, I just need to be more disciplined, or I'm just, missing the right system, or I don't know why I can't stay consistent. And every single time I hear that, I want to just give them a hug and gently interrupt and say, this isn't a motivation problem, sister. This isn't a character flaw. And most of the time, it's actually a vision problem. And that matters because when you misdiagnose the issue, then you inadvertently apply pressure in the wrong place. So let me ask you something super honestly, okay? I really want to get to the heart of this. Have you ever sat down to plan your week, maybe your month, maybe even the year with the best of intentions, right? Your planner is open, your coffee's in hand, you're feeling super hopeful that this time things are going to be different. This time things are going to click. And then within minutes, your mind starts to race. You already feel behind, you're overwhelmed, you get irritated, and suddenly planning just feels like punishment instead of support. And if you've ever experienced that, I just want you to know that you are exactly in the right place and that you are right exactly where you're supposed to be now because you're not broken, sister. You're not lazy. You're not inconsistent. You're just trying to build a strategy without a clear vision. And that, my friend, that will drain anyone. So here's a little truth of the hug, okay? Vision without strategy can actually really become more of a fantasy than anything. And reality is that you can dream all day long and never actually create change if there's no action behind it. But strategy without vision is exhausting. And that's where most of the women that I work with are living, right? They're planning constantly, they're organizing, they're trying to do all of the right things. They're responsible, they care, they show up. But underneath all of that effort, there's no clear internal anchor telling them what actually matters right now. So then what happens is every single decision just feels heavier than it needs to be. Every opportunity feels confusing. Every new idea feels like it might be the one, but then their energy gets completely scattered. And planning stops feeling like clarity and it starts feeling more like pressure. And then what happens, right? We blame ourselves for reacting exactly how human beings react when there's too much input, not enough direction. And I don't know about you guys, but I am done hustling for the sake of hustling. I'm done living the same way and I want things to look better next year. And the truth is that when you don't have a clear vision, everything feels important. Every email feels urgent. Every request feels completely loaded. And every idea feels like it deserves all of your attention. So instead of making clean decisions, you tend to overthink. You second guess. And then what happens is you reorganize instead of committing, right? You tweak instead of moving forward. And eventually you start telling yourself stories that sound responsible, but are honestly just keeping you stuck. Like, I just need to be more consistent, or I need a better routine, or I just need to try harder. I just need a new system, right? Like, how many of you guys have said that? right here at the end, at the beginning of the year, like, I need new this, this, and this. But what if the issue isn't about effort at all? What if the issue is that you're trying to decide how to move before you've decided where you're going? Oofda, right? Like, there's my Minnesota comes out. But for real, like, this is where vision comes in. And I want to be really, really clear about what I mean by vision because it's often very misunderstood. Vision is not just about dreaming bigger. It's not just for the sake of dreaming. It's not about adding more goals or putting pressure on yourselves to want more. Vision is actually about deciding on purpose. It's about clarity and not hype. Vision answers your questions that strategy can't answer on its own. Like, it answers things like, well, what matters in this season of my life right now? What am I building towards right now? What am I no longer available for? And without answering those questions, strategy just becomes reactive. And you end up responding to what's loud instead of what's aligned every single time. You prioritize what feels urgent instead of what feels meaningful. And you might even say yes just because you can, not just because you should. And this is where burnout sneaks in, not because you're doing too much, but because you're doing too much that doesn't actually move you forward, that doesn't feel aligned with what you really want. It's not anchored in your vision. So let me give you a simple example, right? So imagine two women with identical calendars and identical responsibilities, all right? One of them knows exactly what she's building towards this year. The other one doesn't, okay? Now, the first woman can say no very quickly. She can delegate. She can decide without spiraling. She can really see the needle moving, right? The second woman hesitates. She overthinks. She feels guilty no matter what she chooses. Same workload, completely different experience between these two women. And the difference, friends, the difference isn't about capacity, it's about clarity. All right, let me give you another example, okay? Cuz I don't know. I'm just a nerd and I like to just really prove this point. So, have you ever created a plan that looked really great on paper, but felt really, really heavy in your body? Right? You followed it for a week or two and then quietly started to abandon it. And it's not because you're flaky, but it was because it didn't actually fit with who you are or what you want right now. Now, that is what happens when strategy is built without vision. It looks good on paper, right? But it doesn't stick. There is no emotional or energetic anchor to keep you going. Now, here's the part that nobody really talks about, and I want to really dive into this because it matters. It really does matter. You see, sometimes we avoid vision not because we don't want it, but because it feels unsafe. Yikes, right? Vision actually brings responsibility, doesn't it? Vision can bring an identity shift, but also can bring the possibility of disappointment. Maybe you've created a vision in the past and it never came to fruition. And it's scary because if you name what you want and it doesn't happen the way you hoped, it hurts. And if you get clear and choose wrong, that feels scary. So instead, what do? We avoid it and we just stay busy. We stay in motion. We keep planning, we keep preparing, we keep tweaking, we keep researching, we keep organizing. And we tell ourselves that we're being wise, we're being patient, we're being surrendered. But often it's just us wearing a spiritual outfit that is covering up fear. And we're avoiding decision because it feels scary, but avoiding decision doesn't protect you. It just keeps you tired. It keeps you on the hamster wheel. It keeps you hustling for the sake of hustling. And I see this so much, especially with high capacity, service driven women, right? Women who care deeply about doing the right thing, women who don't want to waste time or make selfish decisions. And somewhere along the way, clarity started to feel risky. Wanting started to feel indulgent. And no vision got pushed to the side in favor of productivity. So here's the truth, okay? Clarity does not create pressure. That's not the problem. It actually creates relief. Knowing what matters actually reduces overwhelm. And deciding what season you're in frees up the energy instead of draining it. So let me say this clearly, okay? If planning feels overwhelming for you, it's not because you're bad at execution. It's actually because you've been trying to force clarity through action. Action does not create vision. Vision creates aligned action. So you don't need a better to-do list. You don't need more motivation. You just need a clear yes. And what I see over and over and over again is that most women live in one of two extremes, okay? They're either vision only, lots of dreaming, pie in the sky, lots of inspiration, but very little follow through. Or they're on the other side of the coin where it's strategy only, lots of doing, lots of planning, but they've sucked the joy out of everything that they're doing in their business. And the magic, friends, the magic happens when we stay in the middle because vision tells you what matters and strategy tells you how to move it. More importantly, alignment tells you where to focus your energy. And so, therefore, vision always has to come first, not because strategy isn't important, but because strategy is meant to serve your vision, not replace it. Now, this is exactly why I am starting this year the way I am. Way before planning, way before calendars, before goals and execution. I'm starting with vision. And I would love to invite you guys to go along with me on my exact process. So tomorrow, January 1st, New Year's Day, I am hosting a free live vision board workshop. And I want to get really clear about what this is and what it isn't, okay? It's not about cutting out pictures and hoping that everything magically works. Although I do love me some manifestation, right? There's some strategy in here. This is about slowing down long enough to get honest. It's about reconnecting with what actually matters to you. It's about creating a vision that feels grounded and peaceful and aligned and not forced with pressure and performance. Because when your vision is clear, friend, planning becomes simpler. Decisions become cleaner, follow through becomes more sustainable. And this workshop is for the woman who's tired of feeling busy but not fulfilled. It's literally designed for the woman who is exhausted by trying to keep up with everything. It's for the woman who wants momentum without burnout. It's for the woman who's done forcing and is ready to move with intention. You don't need more hustle. You don't need more pressure. What you need is a vision that actually guides your decisions instead of competing with them. So before you go, I want to leave you with one question that's really gonna to help get you on the right track for this year. What would shift if you stopped asking, what should I do next? And started asking yourself, what am I building towards? That's what vision gives you. And once you have it, the strategy stops feeling heavy and starts feeling supportive. And if this resonates with you, I need you inside of my workshop tomorrow. I want to guide you. I want to guide you live tomorrow, January 1st. And let's begin this year rooted and clear and aligned. I'm so glad you're here. And actually, one of the things that I love to share with you guys in addition to this is that when you guys show up with the vision board workshop, you're actually going to get some information on the strategy workshop that I have a few days later that takes your vision that I help you curate and it helps you put it into action so that we reverse engineer your year so that you know exactly what you want to do and how you're going to execute it so that there's no more guessing. There's no more getting stuck into, I don't know where to start. There's no, I'm going to get it wrong. It's literally, I teach you how to plan out your year, to reverse engineer everything so that you can get into aligned, inspired action. And all the details are going to be at the vision board workshop. You'll also, if you join the strategy workshop that I have a few days later, you will get a replay of the live vision board workshop. But I would rather see you live. Guys, let's do this together, right? Like, let's get into aligned, inspired action together. Let's dream a little bit bigger together. Let's allow for this beautiful clarity to anchor the knowing of why we're here, what we're doing, who we're ready to serve, and how to create the most profitable, fun, joyful, easeful year ever. All right. So can't wait to see you. Check out all of the links in the show notes, and I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye, everybody.
So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up. head on over to iam-lifebydesign.com or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, plug into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.